suck. That's what I learned this week. Most people are selfish and most people suck. Lesson over. I mean, just kidding. But most people do suck. So welcome to my first Lessons of the Week video, where I'm going to be recapping my life as a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Yes, that's a title. And talking about the lessons that I've learned this week, what I've been up to. And also, I'm going to be covering what I think is the biggest piece of bullshit I've heard this week, because boy, do I see a lot of it. And I just feel like I'm going to highlight one every week that is just the most ultimate piece of bullshit that I've heard, and just highlight how crap it is that people are spreading this stuff. So you may have noticed that this video is a little bit more laid back, even though it might be in similar settings that you've seen before. I'm going to be doing a lot less editing to it because I feel like it's more of a vloggy style video, a bit of a recap into what's been happening with my life. So this has been a bit of an interesting week because I've only really had technically 2 working days because it's Bank Holiday Monday and I'm currently still in Barcelona. I came here on Thursday for the poker, and so I really only had technically Tuesday and Wednesday, but it's felt like a really, really long week, I guess because I was working the bank holiday weekend, which I don't like to do. I am really trying to balance out my life so it's less workaholic and actually have that classic work-life balance thing and all that. But I've just been really busy recently, and I know I'm going to try and be better at it. So that's a lesson that I've been needing to learn this week, that I'm still letting the overworking creep into my schedule. But I guess wonder why I'm so busy. I think it's because we've got a retreat coming up in just over a week, which is amazing. And I've got a TED Talk, not my TED Talk. I'm running TEDxShoreditch, which is one of the things I do, coming up at the end of September. And oh my God, that has been one of the biggest nightmares around. Like, running a TED Talk is difficult, and I will probably do a separate video on this at some point. But one of the reasons why I say that people suck is because, oh my God, like, everyone in the world thinks they deserve a TED Talk, but majority of them don't even know what a TED Talk is. Like, they all come to me and be like, I've got this great idea for a TED Talk. And I'm like, okay, great, what is it? And they're like, how AI can transform the world. Or it's like, how to reduce stress. Or like, you know, it's all really generic stuff. Or then worse still, it's like my life story about how hard it's been my life growing up as a multimillionaire. I've literally had that one. I've had multiple ones like that where they're just like, oh, I was just like the richest kid in school and I got bullied for it. And I'm like, oh, honestly, this is not a TED Talk. So I've been dealing with so many people like this. And then if I explain to them what a TED Talk is, or I said that like, you know, it may not be right for our theme, and our theme is be true to who you are, so it probably doesn't fit in with that. They send me a absolute barrage of abuse into my DMs and be like, you don't know who I am, and like, you don't get how good it is, you're missing out on this opportunity. And oh my God, it's been an absolute nightmare. And then even the ones that I do pick to do TED Talks then become complete divas, and they don't want to take any feedback. And for anyone who's done a TED Talk or is looking to do a TED Talk, TED has some really strict rules around what a TED Talk is. And so many people then complain that their TED Talk gets rejected because even though they've done all this filming and they're doing all this amazing stuff, they do it all, make all the effort, and their TED Talk gets rejected, right? And I'm just like, well, if you'd listened to the feedback and listened to, like, you know, the rules, then it wouldn't have happened. But so many of the people we talk to just refuse to listen to the guidelines, and I've had some really nasty messages this week, and I just think that people really need to get out their own arses. Like, people seem to think the world revolves around them all the time. And like, when something doesn't go their way, they get into this really, really big victim mindset, and they're just like, oh my God, the world hates me. And I'm like, so yeah, it's been one of those weeks where people are just all in their own head. And I just seem to be on the receiving end of a lot of it. So in terms of lessons, stay away from people. No, I don't know. I feel like I want to do more work on victim mindset because it's so prevalent and so many people are trapped into this victim mindset that I really want to kind of learn more psychology about why people do that and, you know, the reasoning around it. And, you know, maybe I'll do some research and come back and do another video on it, because there are so many people in this world at the moment because there's a cost of living crisis and people aren't doing so well. And so they're sort of bogged down as if like their life is the worst life in the world and they just can't get out of this slump. And obviously there are some people who I really want to help in that situation and I'd love to just know more about it. So one of the lessons this week is about, you know, understanding people in a victim mindset and why they are like that and what I can do to help, really. So I've been doing this thing on LinkedIn this week. I've been calling it my 7 days of bullshit. The idea is that every day I make a post that is like how a lot of other creators make a post, and it's really hyped up. But it's all bullshit. And then underneath, I always write, "Hi, I'm Sabrina. This is day one of my 7 days of bullshit. None of this is true. Here's what actually happened." So I've done things like fake testimonials on WhatsApp, like screenshots of Stripe accounts that have been going on. Mark Zuckerberg bought a course of mine. I'm hosting my next retreat on Necker Island, but this year Stephen Bartlett's coming. I've been on the front cover of Forbes magazine, all sorts of stuff. Like, this is what other people do. And there is so much bullshit online at the moment that I've been trying to highlight this in a kind of funny way. And I've learned a lot from this week. First of all, most people believe it. Like, if you see something online, people just instantly believe it. And, you know, like, you can Photoshop anything. People don't look at the details. People just skim through. They don't read the post. So even though at the bottom of every single one of these posts, I've written that it is complete bullshit, other people are still congratulating me. You should see the amount of people in my DMs and emails that have been like, "How did you get Mark Zuckerberg to sign up to your course? Can you give me some tips on course creation?" Or like, "How did you get Stephen Bartlett to come to your retreat? And like, you know, I'm running a retreat. Can you help me with mine?" And basically, I've just got all these people who genuinely believe it's true, and they're all slipping into my DMs. But what I notice is that they're all just asking me for advice. None of them are asking to go on my course, and none of them are like wanting to be on the retreat or anything like supporting me or like actually me selling anything. They all just want something from me. They want to learn from me because people are selfish. That is the bottom line of it, is that if you look at all the content that does super well online, including YouTube, people are picking stuff because they want to learn. And that's everyone's right. Everyone's got prerogative. Like, I mean, I'm doing this because I want people to learn too. But the stuff that does really well is the stuff that people can make money on. For example, on YouTube, when I was scrolling through about like things that are going popular, it's all about monetization on YouTube. People only care about how to make more money. At the moment, this is what's going on in the world of entrepreneurship. The stuff that does well is the stuff that is trying to make other people money. That is all people seem to care about at the moment, which is absolutely crazy. So if you look at the content, like now more and more people are making more posts about how much money they've got, how they're selling XYZ, and it's encouraging more and more bullshit because they know that stuff works. Like all these bullshit posts that I did 7 days of it, and they're really infuriatingly my best performing posts over the last couple of months, and they've gone to like, I think they've gone to, the total of them, I have to work it out, and they went to over 400,000 people. And you know, it's absolutely nuts because people just care about success and how to do it, and I get that, but actually if you spend hours and hours and hours trying to like research and do a really insightful piece of content, people don't care about that as much as like really overinflated stuff that puts them on a pedestal. So all of my stuff was about how much money I was making, famous people buying my stuff, me getting on stage, me being on the cover of Forbes magazine, and me being on billboards and stuff like that. That was the drastic stuff that people care about now. Whereas I released a piece of really good research that I actually spent hours and hours and hours doing before, and it completely flopped. And I put that on Instagram, completely flopped. I'm just like, wow, really interesting. But if I'm like, oh, I'm giving you a PDF of like how to guarantee leads in your inbox and you can make money straight away, I had loads of people being like, oh, can you send me that PDF? I even wrote on the post, PDF doesn't exist. But people still didn't care. And so people don't read your posts, they don't have time to do it. All they care about is what's in it for them. And so if you're making content now, this is what I've learned this week, is that you have to be really in the mindset of your target audience. And that's always been the case, but really think about what they're going through and what they want at the moment. And most people are selfish. So it's like always, what's in it for me? So why would someone want to watch this video? Why would someone want to like actually read your content? Because they need to gain something from it. So people are probably thinking there's nothing to gain from this. And again, I'm doing sort of these videos for me at the moment. So maybe I am being a little bit selfish, but I'm doing a bit of more of a vloggy thing. And really, I'm not looking for those people who want those quick wins. That's the whole purpose of knobs. I'm not looking for people who are looking for cheat sheets and quick wins. I'm looking for people who want to do long-term sustainable business. So hopefully the people who are watching and have watched this far are the people who care about what it's really like in the world of entrepreneurship and actually want to know what my life is like as a business owner. I want to understand what my day-to-day and what week looks like and how to learn from them, because I'm telling the stuff that I'm learning each week, and so hopefully other people can learn with me on my journey. So those are the people I'm looking for, and those who are bored by now, that's fine. You're probably not my target audience, or you might like some of the other quick stuff I do and the shorts maybe, but maybe this is not the stuff for you, and that's okay. I think you need to be able to understand who your real target audience is. Okay, so the biggest bullshit of the week. Oh my God, this one really riled me up. So there was a guy on LinkedIn and he was like, he made this big public service announcement. He was like, guys, I've got the single best piece of marketing advice that you will ever see. Like, I mean, overly dramatic intro as well. But the biggest piece of marketing advice is never, ever post daily on LinkedIn. If you post daily, you're basically an idiot, because no successful business person has the time to post daily. So basically, if you're posting daily, it means you're not very good at business. Like, most other people who are good at business are out doing business and they don't have time to post on LinkedIn. Bullshit alert, honestly. I mean, I get that actually people who are really busy and people who are successfully working with clients and stuff may have less time, but it all depends on priorities. And that's why I spoke about my productivity video, is that maybe posting on LinkedIn isn't the best use of your time, and that's completely okay. But say if posting on LinkedIn is a very integral part of your marketing strategy and you get huge ROI from the time it takes you to create content on LinkedIn, then you absolutely should be posting on LinkedIn, no matter how busy you are, how much money you're making, because if you're consistently getting positive ROI, that's a no-brainer to still post on LinkedIn. The question is, to me, is like, he's saying, oh, never post. Also, almost answer is never, never, right? Like it's sometimes, and it's different for every single person. But I was like to him, well, you know, there's a lot of people who are able to do it. And I think if you're actually, for me, it's the opposite. If you cannot find 10 minutes a day just to make a LinkedIn post, then you're probably prioritizing your tasks wrong, and you're probably not very efficient at your work. And actually, you're probably doing business badly if you can't even find 10 minutes a day to produce a post that should generate more business. So for me, it made no sense. So I actually said to him, I would disagree with this because I think that, you know, and all the stuff I just said. And then he wrote back with the most pass ag like comment and was like, oh, well, yeah, you're right. Obviously, anyone can do it if you're doing it. And I'm like, oh, okay, lovely, nice guy. So I was like, whatever. Obviously, one of these people can't take a different approach to stuff. But I think that, you know, there's a lot of comments at the moment about like personal branding and how much time you should be spending on creating social media content. Everyone's saying that I don't have enough time to spend creating YouTube videos. That's a big thing. And, you know, I didn't have the time, but I wasn't prioritizing it correctly. I always have time for stuff. I just chose not to prioritize it. So, you know, for me, like, I think that creating one post on LinkedIn every day is a no-brainer. It's very easy to do. It only takes you a few minutes. However, there are gurus out there who tell you that you should be spending 6 hours a day in the comment section and engaging with all these people. And I think that's the hard part, right? Is that whenever you create a piece of content, you don't want to post and ghost is what people say, right? You don't want to just post it and then just disappear and never comment. Your whole point is to drive engagement, have a conversation, understand who your audience is, and actually build up relationships with them. So the engagement is what takes time. But you can also post once a week and get so much more engagement that it takes you more time to engage with all those than posting each day. So for me, the whole thing was bullshit, but though everyone was lapping it up in the comments, and this is the problem. It creates this echo chamber. Someone makes a piece of bullshit thing and everyone sort of agrees with it, and then because everyone sees them agreeing with it, they all think that this must be the good advice. So there's so much bullshit online that's been spurred out there all the time, and it creates this like echo chamber, and it's just really, really, really bad advice. So anyway, that's my piece of the biggest bullshit of advice I've heard this week. And I'm going to keep doing this each week. I'm just going to recap things, explain the lessons that I've learned. It's been a strange week, so I haven't had as much that I can catch up with you on. As I said, only a couple of days technically working, but I've also learned that, you know, I still need to schedule my week properly. I still need to be able to make sure that I do have a better and like, you know, bit of wellness in my thing. If I've got something like poker on, then I don't want to cram everything into that. Hence, I don't actually like a four day work week, but you know, that's just me. So I've still got some lessons I've got to learn from this. But hopefully next week will be a better week. It is a full working week. And yeah, I'll see how I get on.